Tony's YouTubes, once again. Here we are, the old Dirty 30 again. Doors are off, taped up, started anyways. Scratched them up, there's no point in showing you that. Nobody gives a fat rat's ass about watching somebody wipe their ass with sandpaper for a few hours, which is pretty much all you see in there. So anyways, here it is. That's the start of the masking. Actually, I did that right off the bat when I popped the doors off to keep the dust and stuff out of the inside. Just took piece 36-inch paper, obviously, 1.5-inch tape, obviously, etc., yada yada yada. So what we're going to do this time is going to run some tape down the primer edge, along the edge of the jamb there, under the drip rail, up over cha, over here, down cha, along the bottoms. So what we're going to wind up painting is door jambs, which is really just a stripe, back and forth, nothing down at the bottom, just this and that. That's it. So I'll lay some more paper on there, and then I'll show you what's up. And we're back. So this didn't take very long to run that paper around there. When I was younger, getting into the trade, apprenticing, I worked in a little shop. Actually, there was just me and the boss for the longest time, and then he wound up hiring another body man, but the whole time, I mean, it was just the two of us, sometimes three. So that's a good way to learn how to do stuff, is in a smaller environment, because there's the time to teach you. And some of the things that stick with you is when you're watching people do this kind of work, YouTube videos, whatever, and even in the training, because my whole time in the trade, the teacher, when you mask stuff, first you frame it out with tape, then you put your paper on, then you tack your paper down with some more tape. Well, this fella told me as I was doing that once, and he was paying for the materials, so he was paying attention. But he told me once, as I went around with a strip of tape and then laid your paper down, which already has tape affixed to the paper when you use it's called a masking machine, mounts a roll of, well, here, I'll show you. Mounts a roll of paper on it, and then it has a roll of tape on it, and the machine dispenses, as you can see there, the tape onto the paper. Time saver. I don't think I paid $100 for that little gizmo. And it's got a roll of 18-inch paper and a roll of 6-inch paper. And then, of course, there's some room to hang your extra tapes. So anyways, it applies the tape to the paper on the machine. You roll her off like toilet paper, and then you stick her on there. But as I was masking and doing the way that they tell you, he walked up to me and said, "How many times are you going to mask that thing?" And what he's getting at is the tape. So you go around your perimeter with some tape, and then you put your paper on, which already has tape. So why don't you just put the paper on, which already has the tape? Because if you can run a roll of tape there, then you can run paper there with tape. So it saves a lot of time in the long run. Of course, I couldn't do that here, but essentially I did, because I did 1.5-inch tape on the edge, and then I brought my paper in from the back side and stuck it to the tape. So now there's only one perimeter there. And here, again, you just follow your edges with tape, all the way around, and I mean, it's already on there. It saves you time, and it saves materials. I mean, especially if you're doing this kind of stuff at home, well, shit ain't free. They want money for stuff. So a little tip, if you can, it doesn't take much, and a lot of times it's easier this way, because to get the tape to follow a line, the paper helps make the tape a little more rigid, so it's not all floppy and flying around like you're throwing spaghetti at the fridge. Yeah, like I say, that didn't take too long to do. What the program's going to be here, as you can see the extent of the door jambs on this thing, is it's going to be a coat of what's called a direct-to-metal sealer. It's a urethane-based paint sealer. Then this thing gets, it's called a tri-coat. color. So it's like a pearl red, and it's like basically a candy apple type. I'll put a real silvery kind of burgundy colored base coat down, and then it gets a really transparent red. Like this will be the first color that it gets, and then that's a really toilet water piss colored transparent red that goes on over top of it, and then it just gives the color some depth. So I guess what I'll do is I'll wipe it down, and then maybe I'll manage to, my phone didn't time out on pause for that long because I'm recording all this stuff with my phone. So maybe I can get it to hang on long enough to maybe shoot a little bit in between coats before it pauses. Because once it times out, then it shuts the video off, and then it's two separate videos, and I don't have an editing team or a production team or even anybody smart enough to know what the hell's going on here except me. So anyways, yeah, that's step one, some masking and some sanding. Step two to come. As discussed, there it is sealed. Put the sealer on pretty light. You don't want a real heavy coat, nor do you need a real heavy coat to sealer. It's just there to kind of act. Some people use it like a glue. They think that a sealer will help take the place of pour prepping and maybe not getting all your bits and pieces sanded properly, and then they think the sealer will glue your paint on. That's not its purpose. Its purpose is to seal off what's underneath, and in this case being a series of lacquer products, sealing that stuff off is just what we're looking for. But it also gives a nice even substrate to put further top coats over. So you put your coat of sealer down, then you put a base coat down, then you put your clear coat down. The nicer each one of those layers that you're putting on goes onto the surface, the nicer the finished product of paint is going to be. The nicer your clear coat will be, and the more holdout you'll have in the future. As the sun bakes it, hits it, and stuff gets hot and cold, sometimes you'll get what they call swelling or shrinking out of your paint. It's kind of when previous sand scratches, the products sink into them essentially, and then yeah, they show up in the finished product, especially in dark colors. So anyways, that's the quick coat of sealer on there, and then the next coat will be the burgundy first coat of base, burgundy metallic, and then the transparent coat after that. So yeah, we'll be back. And just like that, there is what is considered step number one of a tri-coat. Stupid tri-coats. Everybody should just paint their car like solid red or blue or white instead of all this. Anyways, as I said, that's kind of metallic-y, orangey, burgundy, I don't know what the hell you want to call it. Copper, pink, something. Yeah, there it is. That's step one. And so what step two will consist of is, I don't know if you can see that going see-through there. See how thin that is? So you can see right through that. And then the whole big idea is that the metallics, it's not really picking up metallics, is it? Anyways, that's just about all metallics with some red in it, burgundy in it. But anyways, these metallics, they kind of pop through that shitty color over there, and then it actually makes a nice color out in the sun. This color is off of a newer Mazda SUVs and cars, and it is quite a nice color. But yeah, anyways, that's step number two. So we'll be back shortly, and I will show you what it looks like with the transparent red applied. So here's coat number two of the tri-stage. And now you can see that it's gone from that rusty metallic color to, actually in the camera it looks a lot oranger. It's a really ruby red kind of a, wow, that really looks orange in my camera screen compared to what the color is. You have to take my word for it. It's a really ruby red kind of. Doesn't really capture the effect on the phone. You need a special effects, something or other here to Photoshop the correct color into this, because that's not what it looks like. It looks really orange, but anyways, it's a really ruby red. Like I said, if you know your years of Mazdas and stuff, I do have a light that imitates sunlight, or it's supposed to. Once it's cleared, maybe I'll shine that on there, and then maybe that'll give a better representation of the color. But anyways, that's the second coat of a tri-coat. The third coat of the tri-coat being the clear coat. Stupid tri-coat colors. So anyways, yep, we'll get some clear on there, and then show you what it looks like, what the whole car is gonna look like. Yeah. Well, here it is. You just don't get the effect in 2 dimensions. No matter how I point the phone at it, no matter how I wave my lightsaber at it, just doesn't get it. But anyways, you get the gist of it. That's how you do a tri-stage. First stage, a metallic coat, just about always. Second stage is a translucent color coat. And third stage is a clear coat. That adds up to your tri. Your tri-coat. And with that is the end of this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks.